Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is now back in the prison where he was stabbed 22 times by a Mexican gang leader. The guy said he did it in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. But here's my question. How exactly did a former member of a Mexican mafia prison gang who's serving a 30-year sentence get into the facility's law library with Chauvin and have the access to stab him repeatedly? We're learning more tonight that just leads to more questions. John Turskak is accused of stabbing Chauvin with a makeshift knife on November 24th at the Federal Correctional Institution in Tucson, Arizona. And he did it, apparently, because of Chauvin's notoriety over the death of George Floyd and made Chauvin a household name. Turskak apparently chose Black Friday for his attack to symbolize Black Lives Matter and the black hand sign associated with his gang, according to a criminal complaint obtained by Law and Crime. He also told authorities that he would have killed Chauvin if corrections officers had not responded as quickly as they ended up doing, and that he was supposedly thinking about attacking him for about a month. Chauvin's attorney Gregory Erickson told NBC News it remains a mystery how the perpetrator was able to obtain and possess dangerous materials that were able to be formed into an improvised knife, and how a guard was unable to reach and apprehend the perpetrator until Derek had been stabbed 22 times. Why was Derek allowed into the law library without a guard in close enough proximity to stop a possible attack? The last part is what I'm wondering, too. I mean, of course Chauvin has a target on his back. Turskak was charged last week and with attempted murder and assault with intent to commit murder, among other things. Chauvin's family still feels he'll continue to be in danger. His attorney saying his family is very concerned about the facility's capacity to protect Derek from further harm. They remain unassured that any changes have been made to the faulty procedures that allowed Derek's attack to occur in the first place. Joining me now is Bill Mohrman, another attorney for Derek Chauvin. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. So you would think this would be sort of the most protected inmate in America. I would assume this is something that you and his other attorneys have been concerned about before this happened.
Yes, we have always been concerned about that. However, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Once a person is convicted in court, they're turned over to the jurisdiction of the Bureau of Prisons, and you expect the Bureau of Prisons to do their job, which is to protect prisoners, and particularly high notoriety prisoners such as Derek Chauvin. This whole story is just incredible to us, and we still have not heard from the prison at all. So I handled Derek's appeal. I actually talked to him a week ago before this attack happened. I reached out to his contact person at the prison, and I haven't heard back.
The prison definitely has some explaining to do here.
Yeah. You would think the entire prison is under camera surveillance, and you would think there would be guards in every room where the prisoners are congregating. And I've never stabbed anybody in my life. Mm-hmm. I would think it would take a long time to do it 22 times. That's not something that's going to happen in a couple of seconds.
Are you concerned this was more than negligence on the part of the prison?
We don't know, but are we concerned? Yes, we are.
And as you point out, there's a limited amount that you can do with regard to a quote-unquote investigation, right? You're going to need government assistance.
Well, we need government assistance if, depending on how things move forward, we're obviously going to investigate whether an action would need to be brought. What I meant by that earlier is Derek's under the jurisdiction of the Bureau of Prisons, and they have pretty wide discretion on how they handle prisoners up to a point.
Right.
That point basically runs into civil rights statutes under federal law.
All right, we shall see. Bill Mohrman, thank you very much for coming on the program. Really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.